If you've ever felt like someone looked into your eyes, promised you the world, and then shattered you into pieces, you'll understand my story. My name is Rachel. I'm 32 years old, and 3 years ago, I thought I had married the love of my life, Ethan Cole. We met in the most cliché yet magical way. A spilled coffee, a nervous apology, and a smile that could disarm a storm. Ethan wasn't just handsome, he was confident, charming, and made me feel like the only woman in the world. At first, everything was perfect. He'd text me good morning before I even opened my eyes. He'd show up at my office with lunch when I forgot to eat. He made me laugh when work got stressful and held me when the world felt heavy. People used to say, "You're so lucky, Rachel. He's one in a million." And I believed them. But looking back now, I wish I had seen the red flag sooner. It started small, like all betrayals do. He became busy. Longer work hours. Unanswered calls. Nights where he came home smelling like cologne that wasn't his. At first, I brushed it off. He worked in marketing, client dinners, networking events, late presentations. It all sounded reasonable. And I trusted him. God, I trusted him. Then came the lies. Little inconsistencies that didn't make sense. He'd say he was out with a client named David. But when I asked David's wife at a company dinner how their husband's meeting went, she gave me a confused look. "There was no meeting that night," she said softly. Something inside me twisted. That was the first time I felt it. That cold, nauseating feeling that something was very, very wrong. One night, while Ethan was in the shower, his phone buzzed. I never went through his phone before. I respected privacy, or maybe I was just afraid of what I'd find. But that night, curiosity won. The screen lit up with a message from a name I didn't recognize. "I miss you already. Can't wait for next weekend." My hands went numb. My chest tightened. I opened the chat. Dozens of messages, photos, flirty jokes, voice notes. The last one said, "Don't forget to delete this, baby. Rachel's not dumb forever." I remember staring at those words for what felt like hours, my whole body trembling. The shower stopped. I panicked, locked the phone, and threw it back on the bed. When he came out, towel around his waist, smiling like nothing had happened, I forced a smile too. But inside, something broke. For days, I said nothing. I needed proof, real proof. So I started watching closely. His patterns, his calls, his work trips. Every time he smiled at me, I saw lies hiding behind those perfect teeth. Then, one Friday, he said he had to go to a conference in Chicago for the weekend. He packed his bags, kissed me goodbye, and said, "I'll call you when I land, sweetheart." The moment the door closed, I followed my instincts. I opened his laptop, the one he'd left charging on the desk. He'd always logged out of everything before, but this time, he hadn't. There it was. A flight confirmation. Not to Chicago. To Miami. 2 tickets. Under Ethan Cole and Vanessa Reed. I stared at the screen, feeling every ounce of blood drain from my face. Vanessa. I'd heard that name before. She was his new assistant, 25, always giggling when he spoke, too eager to please. And suddenly, it all made sense. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat quietly at the kitchen table, staring at our wedding photo on the wall, Ethan with his arm around me, both of us smiling like fools. Then something inside me changed. A cold calm washed over me. I wasn't going to be his victim. If he wanted to play games, I'd show him what a real player looked like. The next morning, I called my friend Nina, who worked as a private investigator. When I told her everything, she didn't even sound surprised. "Men like that always slip," she said. "You just need to catch him in the act." By evening, Nina had trackers set up, his phone location, credit card alerts, even access to his work calendar. I didn't know whether to feel guilty or proud. But one thing was clear. I was done being blind. When Ethan called me from the airport later that night, his voice was as sweet as ever. "Hey babe, I just landed. It's freezing here." I smiled through clenched teeth. "Oh no, really? Bundle up then. I'll miss you." He laughed. "You sound tired." "Just a long day," I lied. "Love you." "Love you too, Rachel." When he hung up, Nina texted me. "He's not in Chicago. GPS shows him at Miami Beach Hotel." I took a deep breath. For a moment, I wanted to cry, but then something darker stirred inside me. This wasn't just betrayal. This was performance. He was playing me, right to my face. And I decided right then, I'd play back. The next 2 days, I planned everything, quietly, methodically. I didn't just want to catch him cheating. I wanted him to feel what it was like to lose everything he thought he controlled. Nina sent me pictures, Ethan by the pool with Vanessa, his arm around her waist, both laughing like carefree lovers. Every image felt like a dagger in my chest, but it also fueled the fire. By Sunday night, when he called again pretending to be exhausted from meetings, I already knew exactly how I'd destroy him. Not with tears, not with screaming, but with precision. When he returned home Monday morning, flowers in hand, smiling like the perfect husband, I greeted him with a kiss. He had no idea that by the next week, his career, his reputation, and his pride would all be ashes, and I'd be the one holding the match. Because what Ethan didn't know was that I already had someone else playing on my side, someone much closer to him than he could ever imagine. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there, listening to his soft snoring beside me, staring at the ceiling, and thinking about all the lies that had wrapped around me like silk, smooth, beautiful, and deadly. The man sleeping inches away from me had whispered promises he never meant to keep. And now, he thought he'd gotten away with it. But little did he know, I was already 10 steps ahead. The first step of my plan was simple. Smile. I smiled when he poured me coffee that morning. I smiled when he kissed my cheek and told me how amazing the Chicago conference was. And I smiled when I noticed the faint tan line on his wrist, a souvenir from Miami's sun. "Looks like you got a bit of sun," I said casually. He froze for half a second. Oh yeah. The weather was crazy, sunny 1 minute, snow the next. I tilted my head, pretending to laugh. "In Chicago?" He blinked. Yeah. You know, global warming." Inside, I nearly choked on my coffee trying not to laugh. That day, I called Nina again. "He's lying through his teeth," I said. "But I don't want to just expose him. I want to ruin him." Nina whistled softly. "I like the sound of that. What's your plan?" "Not sure yet," I admitted. "But I know his weak spots." Ethan had always been obsessed with control. His image, his career, the way people saw him. To everyone else, he was a charming executive, the golden boy of his firm. If that mask cracked, even a little, his whole world would collapse. That's where I decided to strike. Over the next few days, I started acting like the perfect wife again, cooking his favorite meals, asking about his day, laughing at his jokes. He started to relax, too much even. He'd leave his phone on the counter now, not realizing I'd already cloned his SIM with Nina's help. Every message Vanessa sent went straight to my phone too. By Friday, I had everything: texts, pictures, even hotel bookings under false names. But the most interesting part, Vanessa wasn't just his mistress. She was helping him with something else, something financial. One message made my stomach twist. "Vanessa, don't worry, baby. No one will find out about the transfers. I made sure it's under Rachel's account." My fingers went numb. He was funneling money and using my name. I forwarded everything to Nina. Within an hour, she called back. "Rachel, he's moving company funds into your joint account. That's embezzlement. And if it blows up, guess who takes the fall?" My breath caught. Me. Exactly. "He's not just cheating on you, Rachel. He's setting you up." That's when my plan evolved. I didn't just want to break his heart. I wanted to dismantle his entire illusion. The next morning, I called Ethan's boss, Mr. Turner, pretending to be worried. "Hi, this is Rachel Cole. I just wanted to confirm Ethan's upcoming trip to Miami next week." He mentioned the company retreat. There was silence on the other end. "Miami?" Turner said. "There's no company retreat in Miami." My heart raced. "Oh, that's odd. Maybe I misunderstood." "No, Mrs. Cole. If Ethan said that, I'd like to know more." I smiled faintly. "Don't worry, Mr. Turner. I'll take care of it." That night, I put on my best smile when Ethan came home. He looked tired, distracted, phone buzzing every few minutes. When he went to shower, I unlocked it and snapped a picture of his messages with Vanessa. She'd sent. "Same sweet next weekend? I'll bring the champagne this time." And Ethan had replied, "Can't wait, baby. Rachel still thinks I'm going on a business trip." I stared at the words and felt my anger twist into cold determination. When he came out of the shower, I kissed him like nothing was wrong. He looked surprised, then smug. "Wow, what's this about?" I smiled. "You'll see." For the next few days, I played my part perfectly. I even helped him pack for his Miami conference. He joked about how organized I'd become. I laughed and kissed his cheek, whispering, "Just want you to have everything you need." He didn't realize that what I'd packed for him wasn't just shirts and socks. It was a tiny GPS tracker sewn into his luggage, courtesy of Nina. When he left, I followed every move he made. And as expected, he checked into the same beachfront hotel with Vanessa. Nina's cameras caught everything, him holding her hand at dinner, kissing her by the pool, laughing as if he had no care in the world. I watched it all unfold from my laptop, my hands steady, my heart strangely calm. Because this time, the pain wasn't breaking me. It was fueling me. When he returned home 2 days later, I greeted him with open arms. He hugged me, clueless, and whispered, "You're the best thing that ever happened to me." I smiled into his shoulder and whispered back, "I know." But behind that smile, my mind was already racing with the next phase. I met with Mr. Turner the next morning. I didn't show him everything, not yet, just enough. I handed him a small folder with photos and screenshots. He flipped through them, his face darkening. "Is this real?" he asked. "Every word," I said quietly. "But please, don't mention I came to you. I just thought you deserved to know before the company gets dragged into something ugly." He nodded grimly. "Thank you, Mrs. Cole. We'll handle it discreetly." That night, Ethan came home glowing, completely unaware his boss now had evidence of his affair and shady transactions. He kissed my forehead. "Guess what? I might get promoted next month." I almost laughed. "That's great, honey." He had no idea the ground beneath him was about to crumble. And I wasn't done yet, because if he thought his secret was just about love, he hadn't seen what betrayal looked like when it was served cold. Because the next time Ethan went to work, he wouldn't just lose his promotion, he'd lose everything. The morning Ethan went to work, I woke up early, earlier than him. I made him breakfast, poured his favorite coffee, and smiled like a wife who still believed in love. He had no idea I had just turned his world into a ticking time bomb. "Big day?" I asked as he buttoned his shirt. He grinned, tightening his tie. "Yeah, Turner wants me in early, probably about the promotion." "I told you, babe, things are finally falling into place." I forced a gentle smile. "You deserve it." He leaned down, kissed me on the forehead, and said the words that made my stomach twist. "I couldn't have done it without you, Rachel." And then he walked out the door, carrying the same briefcase that held all the lies he'd built between us. I watched him leave from the window. The man I had once trusted with my life was walking straight toward his own destruction, and I was the one lighting the fuse. By 9 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was Nina. "Turner called an emergency board meeting," she said, voice low. "Looks like he found more than he expected." My heart raced. "Already?" "Yeah." He cross-checked Ethan's account movements. Some of the transfers linked directly to offshore payments. Turner's furious. I took a slow, steady breath. Good. It's time he learns what betrayal really feels like. At 10:15, Ethan texted me. "Ethan, hey babe, weird morning. Turner just called me in. Probably just routine audit. We'll text you later." I stared at that heart emoji for a long time. Routine audit? If only he knew. By 11 o'clock, Nina texted again. "It's happening." They've pulled him into the conference room. 2 auditors, HR Turner. He looks pale. I could almost picture it. Ethan sitting there, surrounded, realizing slowly that his castle of lies was collapsing around him. For years, I believed every word he said. Now, every lie was catching up to him, with interest. By lunchtime, he still hadn't called. I knew what that meant. Damage control. He was probably scrambling, trying to explain his way out of the mess. Then, around 2:30, my phone rang. His name flashed on the screen. I took a deep breath before answering. "Hey, honey. Everything okay?" His voice was strained. "Rachel, something weird happened at work." I played dumb. "What do you mean?" They said there were suspicious transfers from our joint account. Turner looked at me like I'd killed someone. I don't know how this happened. I bit my lip to keep from smiling. Oh my God, that's awful. What did you tell them? He sighed heavily. I told them I'd look into it. Maybe a system error. But they've suspended my access for now. Can you check our bank app? Maybe someone hacked us. Of course, I said softly. Send me the details. When the call ended, I sat there in silence, staring at his photo on my phone. This was the same man who had used my name to cover his fraud. Now he was watching it all backfire in real time. That evening, he came home early. He looked disheveled, tie loose, eyes tired, anger simmering under the surface. He dropped his briefcase on the couch. You won't believe this, Turner suspended me pending investigation. Me? I gasped, pretending to be shocked. That's insane. You've been loyal to that company for years. He ran his hands through his hair. It's ridiculous. Someone's setting me up. I tilted my head. Who would do that? He stared at me for a moment, like he was trying to figure something out, then looked away. I don't know. Maybe someone jealous at work. Or maybe someone closer. I murmured under my breath. He didn't hear me. That night, while he paced around the living room making frantic phone calls, I sat at the kitchen counter, scrolling through photos Nina had just sent me. One image stopped me cold. It was Ethan and Vanessa, sitting together at a cafe that morning. So, even while his career was burning, he still found time to meet his mistress. Unbelievable. I sent the photo to his phone without a word. Across the room, I watched as he paused mid-sentence, glanced at the screen, and froze. He turned to me, color draining from his face. Rachel, what is this? I smiled faintly. You tell me. He stammered. That's not what it looks like. Oh please, I cut him off. Don't insult me any more than you already have. He walked toward me slowly, voice trembling. You've been spying on me? I looked up at him calmly. No, Ethan. I've been protecting myself. You made sure to put me in the line of fire with your little money games. I just made sure I had evidence when the truth came out. He blinked, completely thrown off. You knew? I leaned forward, my voice cold and steady. I knew everything. Miami, Vanessa, the transfers. All of it. His mouth fell open, and for once, he had nothing to say. He sat down, burying his face in his hands. Rachel, I can explain. Can you? I snapped. Because from where I'm standing, you lied, cheated, and used me as your personal shield. He looked up, eyes desperate. I didn't mean to drag you into this. I got in over my head. It was supposed to be temporary. The company was making shady deals, and Stop. I raised a hand. Don't try to paint yourself as the victim now. You played me for a fool, Ethan. You made me think I was crazy for suspecting anything. And now you want my sympathy? He swallowed hard, tears forming in his eyes. Rachel, please. I love you. I messed up, but I can fix this. We can fix this. I stood there, arms crossed, heart pounding. A few months ago, I might have believed him. But now? His words sounded hollow. You love me? I whispered. Then why did you let her call me dumb forever in your messages? He flinched. You saw that? I saw everything. He covered his face, shaking his head. Oh God. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Just the sound of the clock ticking. The weight of everything between us pressing down. Finally, I said, you want to fix this? Then tell Turner the truth. Admit what you did. Clear my name. He hesitated. If I do that, I'll lose everything. I looked him straight in the eyes. You already did. He stood there, completely broken, the confident man I once knew gone. As I turned to walk away, I said quietly, I was your wife, Ethan. Not your scapegoat. Not your fool. And soon, everyone will see exactly who you are. But what I didn't know was that Ethan wasn't the only one hiding secrets, and the truth I was about to uncover would destroy more than just our marriage. I didn't sleep that night. The house felt colder than usual, the silence between us heavier than any argument we'd ever had. Ethan stayed downstairs, pacing the living room like a caged animal, while I lay awake upstairs, staring at the ceiling and wondering how long he would keep pretending. When the clock struck 3 a.m., I heard the front door open and close softly. He'd left. I wasn't surprised. Cowards always run first. But what I didn't expect was the note he left behind. It was on the kitchen counter, written in his rushed handwriting. Rachel, I can't let this ruin us. I'm going to fix it. Don't do anything stupid. I love you. I read it twice, then laughed bitterly. He still thought he could control the story, fix it on his terms. He had no idea that things were already far beyond repair. The next morning, I called Nina. He's gone, I said quietly. Left sometime last night. Good, she replied. Turner asked if he could contact you. He knows now Ethan was moving company funds into personal accounts. I frowned. How? Apparently someone leaked everything, emails, transaction logs, even his messages to Vanessa. I froze. I didn't send those, I said slowly. Nina hesitated. Then who did? That's when the first chill of real fear crept into my chest. If I hadn't exposed Ethan fully yet, someone else had. And they knew a lot more than I ever shared. By noon, the police were involved. They came to the house, polite but firm. Immerse. Bennett, one of them said, we're investigating some financial irregularities connected to your husband's company. We understand you co-own a joint account used in several transactions. I nodded cautiously. Yes, but I wasn't involved in any of that. I already provided proof to the company. The officer glanced at his tablet. We're aware. But new information surfaced this morning. Some of it includes your name in connection with offshore wire transfers. We just need to confirm your knowledge or consent. My knees went weak. My name? I repeated. What are you talking about? He looked up sympathetically. It's possible someone's using your identity. We'll need access to your financial records to clear you. I signed the forms with shaking hands, realizing that whatever game Ethan had started, it wasn't over. It had just evolved. Later that day, Turner called. Rachel, he said gravely, I need you to come to the office. It's urgent. When I arrived, he was sitting behind his desk, visibly disturbed. He pushed a folder toward me. You need to see this. Inside were copies of emails, all signed with my name, to the company's accounting department, authorizing transfers I'd never seen before. And attached to one of them was a scanned signature. My signature. I didn't write these, I whispered. Turner nodded grimly. I believe you. But this means whoever leaked Ethan's information also framed you to make it look like you were part of it. My stomach churned. But who would do that? He hesitated, then said, I checked the leak source. It came from a private device inside the company's network, registered to an employee named Vanessa Hill. Vanessa, Ethan's mistress. I gripped the edge of the desk. She's behind this? Turner sighed. Looks that way. We think she might have turned against Ethan after realizing he was going down. She exposed him and pinned part of it on you so she wouldn't get caught. I sat there in stunned silence. So, the woman Ethan threw away our marriage for had just destroyed him completely, and she was trying to take me down with him. That night, Ethan finally called. His voice was hoarse, desperate. Rachel, you need to listen to me. Don't talk to anyone from the company. I clenched the phone tightly. Why not? Because they think you were part of it. Vanessa's framing you. I just found out. She sent everything. She has access to the accounts, the signatures, the logs. I took a deep breath. And how would she get my signature, Ethan? Silence. Then he muttered. Because I gave her access once. To file some expense reports for me. I didn't think. You didn't think? I snapped. You gave your mistress access to our financial documents, Ethan. She forged my name, and now the police think I helped you. He was nearly crying now. I'm sorry. Please. Just trust me one more time. I'll fix this. I laughed bitterly. You keep saying that, but every time you fix something, I'm the one who gets burned. Then I said the words that seemed to break him completely. You and Vanessa deserve each other. And I hung up, but deep down, I knew walking away wasn't enough. If Vanessa was capable of framing me once, she'd do it again. Especially if she thought I was a loose end. So, I made a decision. This time, I wouldn't just defend myself. I would fight back. Over the next 2 days, I worked quietly with Nina. She helped me trace where the leaked files originated. Vanessa's system log showed she'd accessed company servers at strange hours, midnight, 3 a.m., sometimes even from outside the building. It was clear she'd been preparing this for weeks. Then Nina found something shocking. Vanessa wasn't just Ethan's lover. She was also working undercover with an investigative firm, one that specialized in corporate takedowns. Ethan hadn't just cheated on me. He'd slept with the woman hired to expose his crimes. I sat in the dark that night, staring at my phone, shaking my head in disbelief. He thought he'd been clever, but the woman he trusted had used him as bait. And now I was the last piece of the puzzle. But Vanessa underestimated me, because if she wanted to play dirty, she had no idea who she was dealing with. I turned to Nina and said quietly, "It's time we end this. On my terms." The next morning, I sent Vanessa a message from an anonymous number. "We need to talk before the truth destroys you too." Vanessa replied within minutes. "Vanessa, who is this?" "Me, anonymous. Someone who knows what you did. Meet me at the Riverside Cafe tomorrow, 11 a.m. Come alone." For a few minutes, there was no response. Then she sent one final message. "Fine, but you're wasting your time." I smiled. "No, Vanessa, this time, it was you who would waste yours." The next morning, I arrived early. The Riverside Cafe was quiet, sun pouring through the glass windows, music playing softly in the background. I picked a corner seat where I could see the entrance clearly. At 10:55, she walked in, tall, confident, hair perfectly styled, sunglasses hiding her eyes. The kind of woman who thought the world revolved around her. When she spotted me, she froze. Then, slowly, she approached. Well, she said, taking off her glasses. "The betrayed wife." "Sit down," I said coolly. She smirked. "You've got guts, Rachel. I didn't think you'd actually face me." "I've faced worse," I replied. "Like discovering the woman my husband cheated with also forged my name and tried to ruin my life." Her smile didn't falter. "You mean save your life? Ethan was dragging you down. You should be thanking me." "Thanking you?" I laughed softly. "You destroyed my marriage, cost me my reputation, and framed me for crimes I didn't commit." She leaned forward, eyes glinting. "You think this is about you? Ethan was a crook. I was hired to expose him. The affair just made things easier." "Easier?" I repeated, my voice trembling. "You used me to make your evidence look clean." "Exactly," she said without remorse. "You were perfect. Loyal wife, shared accounts, blind to everything. No one suspected a thing." I clenched my jaw. "So you admit it?" She chuckled. "You think that matters? I already turned over everything to the investigators. The deal's done. I walk away clean." I smiled faintly. "You really believe that?" Her eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" I placed my phone on the table and hit play. Vanessa's own voice filled the cafe, word for word, everything she'd just said. She froze. "You're recording me?" I tilted my head. "You were smart, Vanessa, but not smart enough. This conversation, your confession, is being backed up live. Every word, every lie. You wanted to ruin me? Congratulations. You just ruined yourself." Her face turned pale. "You can't use that." "Oh, but I can," I said calmly. "And Turner's already waiting to hear it." At that exact moment, I nodded toward the window. Through the glass, I saw Nina step out of her car, holding her phone up. She'd been recording the entire time from across the street. Vanessa's composure cracked. "You planned this." "Of course I did," I said softly. "You framed me, manipulated my husband, and thought you could walk away untouched. But you forgot one thing." I leaned forward, my voice low, cold. "You messed with a woman who has nothing left to lose." Vanessa stood up abruptly, snatched her purse, and stormed out of the cafe, but I didn't stop her, because by the time she left, I already had everything I needed. That afternoon, Turner called. "I got the file Nina sent," he said, disbelief in his voice. "Rachel, you just saved yourself, and the company." He explained that Vanessa had been funneling corporate evidence to competitors in exchange for hush money, and she used Ethan's access to do it. When she realized the company was closing in, she pinned everything on Ethan and me to keep herself clean. But now, with her confession, she was finished. 2 days later, Ethan showed up at my door. He looked exhausted, hollow eyes, messy hair, the weight of everything dragging on his shoulders. "Rachel," he said quietly, I heard what you did. You caught her. I crossed my arms. I didn't do it for you. He nodded slowly. I know. But thank you for saving me, even when I didn't deserve it. I looked at him, the man who once made my world feel safe, now standing there like a stranger. He had lost his job, his mistress, and his pride, all in one blow. I didn't save you, Ethan, I said coldly. You saved yourself by losing everything that poisoned you. He looked away, his eyes glassy. Do you think we could ever start over? I almost laughed. Start over? After the lies, the manipulation, the humiliation? He swallowed hard. I love you, Rachel. I always have. I took a deep breath, the kind that comes before you finally let go. Love isn't enough anymore, I said quietly. You broke something in me that can't be fixed. He nodded slowly, tears rolling down his cheeks. I understand. And with that, he turned and walked away. For good, this time. Weeks passed. The investigation ended. Vanessa was arrested for corporate espionage and fraud. Ethan was cleared of criminal charges, but he lost everything: his job, his reputation, and me. Turner offered me a position as a compliance consultant. He said, "You're the only person who saw through every lie. I could use someone like you." For the first time in months, I smiled genuinely. I'd gone from being a pawn in someone else's game to the one holding all the cards. One evening, I stood on my balcony, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and gold. Nina called. You did it, Rachel. You really did it. I chuckled softly. No, Nina. We did it. You stood by me when everyone else doubted me. She laughed. So, what's next? I looked out at the horizon, wind brushing my face. I'm done being the fool, I said. From now on, I play smart, and I never let anyone write my story for me again. Later that night, I opened my journal, the same one I'd started months ago when Ethan's lies first began. On the last page, I wrote, he played me for a fool, but I learned every move, every trick, every betrayal. And in the end, I made the final move. I closed the book, feeling a peace I hadn't felt in years. The pain, the anger, the heartbreak, all of it had turned into strength. He broke me once, but now I was the one who left him broken. The end.